Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. This is Mike with Clover. Thank you for joining today's webinar. We'll get started here in just a few moments. Thanks. All right, everyone. Again, this is Mike Huff with Clover with the pre-sales team here. Thank you for joining today's webinar to go over the Clover retail services and core apps. Just a few things before we get started here on Thursday, July 23rd, that we are recording this this call here, and after this, about 48 hours or so, you should get an email with the recording. So be on the lookout for that. And then also for today's webinar, if you could use the GoToMeeting Q&A feature, it should be right there in your GoToWebinar control panel. So if you have any questions, just place them in there. We do not have another question wrangler today, so I will be checking that throughout this this webinar. So just place those in there, and we will get to them during this call today. Also, just during this demo, we're not going to review any kind of pricing or costs. On top of that, we won't necessarily do a deep dive into any kind of third-party applications, but highly recommend that you go to our app market at clover.com and contact that developer listed in there directly if you have any questions. I know in most cases, most of the time, I guess they could do a demo for you as well, or they can just kind of answer your questions. The last thing to this is support questions. So if you do have support questions, please contact Clover Support for that. We got some amazing folks over there that can answer your questions and help you out. All right. So let's kind of jump into today's webinar. Some of the hardware we're going to focus on today is going to be the Clover Station. And this view that you're seeing here is the Clover Station, but with a Clover Mini attached in the front. And this Clover Mini in this scenario is more of a customer-facing device. So in the background, you have your Clover Station, the cash drawer that's here, receipt printer over here. The cashier will, ring up items on the main station, and then the customer would see those line items on the Clover Mini. When it comes time to pay, the Clover Mini will prompt the customer to, insert their payment method, or they can do Apple Pay or Google Pay just by hovering their smart device over this screen and taking care of the payment that way. Okay. The other piece of hardware we're going to kind of talk about here today is the Clover Flex. So what we'll do today is kind of more of a scenario around curbside pickup, and we'll use the Clover Flex for this. And what I mean by that is we'll start the order or the sale on the Clover Station, and then we'll save it, and then we'll say that customers, coming in to actually, pick up that order, the items, and so forth, and we'll use the Clover Flex to actually pay that out. So this will be our mobile unit, more of a handheld device. It does have your card readers built into the device here. You have your chip card reader. You also have a receipt printer built into this device. And of course, Apple Pay and Google Pay capability, or I should say NFC, accepts those type of payments. On the other side of this, where it's kind of hidden, you do have a barcode scanner built into this device as well. Okay. Now, all these devices, they can communicate via Wi-Fi. The station, you can actually hardwire that into your internet. This Flex, again, it'll communicate via Wi-Fi, but it also has the capability to connect to its own cell signal because it has a SIM card built into it as well. Okay. Some of the other accessories that I just want to mention here are the barcode scanners. So we have quite a few of these, but the two that I just kind of want to mention here is one is this more stationary barcode scanner that can just sit on the counter. And then the other one is more of your handheld barcode scanner. So either wired or there's an option for a Bluetooth handheld barcode scanner as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of here and we're going to go ahead and jump into the device. And let me get this one off of here. Let me just adjust my settings here. Here we go. Okay. So on my screen here, this is the actual Clover Station. And I'm going to go ahead and log in. But you'll see here, you have this fingerprint icon. And that's because on the Clover Station, it has the ability to you can allow folks to log into it just with their fingerprint. At the top right corner of the Clover station, that's where that fingerprint reader is located. So instead of typing in a PIN number, folks can just place their finger at the top there and log right in. But today I'm going to go ahead and just log in as an admin. And something I like to mention here is that since I logged in as an admin, I'm going to have access to all the features, all the functions of Clover, including all of my reporting, being able to do refunds or discounts, that kind of thing. But let's say it's a cashier. I don't want them to be able to do a refund. When I go and set up their employee profile, I can disable, let's say, the refund application. So that way, when the employee logs into either the station or the Flex or any of my other Clover devices, they wouldn't see this refund application. It would just kind of disappear when they log in, right? But primarily, you'll just be using the Register app. So I'm going to open this up here. And just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at here. So to the left-hand side, I enabled order type, and I put in 2 different order types here. So I have to make a selection in order to move forward. Now, this is not required. It's you can disable this feature or enable it. And if you do enable it, you can set up multiple order types. So these are just some demo ones that I set up. But again, as mentioned earlier, we're going to do kind of a curbside pickup in this first sale we're going to do. So I'm going to select curbside pickup, and I'm going to add my customer to this as well. So I'm going to click on these little dots here and hit add customer. And this will kind of put my customer's application here. So I can kind of scroll through here, define my customer. If they're not in here, I can quickly add them just by typing in their name, really. Or I can search for them here. So I'll go for Joe. We'll add him. There we go. We have our customer that's listed on here. And then I'm going to start ringing up some items. So I actually have a barcode reader attached to my station, and I'm going to just go ahead and scan, let's just say some water bottles here. So I'm going to go ahead and ring up a few of those. And you can see to the left-hand side here, I have the water that's listed here. So again, you could just kind of start scanning those items. Or we can go in here and manually select them. So another thing we're looking at here in this column, these are your categories, or more in the retail environment, you could look at these as more of your departments. But I'll just go into energy drinks here. And let's say I'm going to ring up maybe 4 Red Bulls, I guess, for Joe. And you'll notice here, really on all the items, I have a price for that. And then to the right of that, I also have my stock quantity, how many actually I have on hand. So as I sell these items, this number will decrease. So that way, at a quick glance, I can see exactly what I actually have on hand, what I'm running low on. Okay. Now, you can see as we kind of go through here, there's multiple things we can kind of do here. Now, if something's not listed in here, and let's say I just want to ring up the customer here, just charge their card, I can hit this plus symbol, and I can just type in a price. So this is kind of like your miscellaneous button. And I could just type in the price and leave that alone, or I can also just give it a name really quick if I want to. I'll just say test item. And if I, again, wanted to, I can add this to my inventory really quick. So it's in there, but we'll just hit add item for today. Okay. So we have this order, and I also want to apply a discount to this. Let's say Joe's a really good customer. I want to take care of him. So I'll go ahead and click on these little dots again, and I'll add a discount to the entire order. And here are some of my demo discounts that I can apply to it. Again, they're just demos. So if you have the system set up, you can create your own demos, different descriptor discounts with your own descriptors and percentages or dollar amount off, whatever that may be. I'm just going to say good customer on here. So take 10% off that whole ticket. Now, if maybe I didn't want to discount the entire ticket, maybe just one particular item, I could simply just click on that item and just hit add discount right here, and it's going to pop up that same menu. So that's if I want to discount one individual item. Okay. Now, again, this is more of a curbside pickup. So in this scenario, maybe I was talking to Joe over the phone. He told me what he wanted, and he's going to be coming in to pay for this. So what I'll do is I'll just hit save. And this is going to save this to my orders app, but it's also going to take me back to the register. So I can ring in a new sale right now if I need to. All right. So let's fast forward here. Let's say Joe has arrived, and I'm going to pull up my Clover Flex so we can complete this order. All right, so here's my Clover Flex. Again, Joe arrived. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Clover Flex, and I'm going to run outside and go meet him. I'm going to go ahead and log in to my Clover Flex, and I'm going to go to the Orders app right here. And in here, I can see all my open orders. I can kind of sort this a few different ways, but here's the order that I want. I click on this, and if I want to add any more items, I can just hit reopen, or if I'm ready to pay, I'll just hit add payment. Okay. And I'm going to say we're going to split this. Maybe he wants to pay so much of this in cash and the other portion on a credit card. So I'll just hit split custom amount, and we'll split that in half right here. But you can see there's multiple ways to kind of split this up. So I'll say 18 on there, and I'll just say he paid me the $20 bill. I'll say pay cash. It's going to tell me if there's any change right here. What's changed is due if I need a receipt for that. But you'll notice at the bottom here, it says next payment. So it's ready to go for the remaining balance. So I'm going to get that remainder, and I'll say I'm going to put it on a card. So charge. And then from here, I can go ahead and insert the card, or I can have Joe just kind of hover a smart device over the Flex and go ahead and take the payment that way. I'm going to go ahead and do Apple Pay. Sale here. There we go. And all right, that went through. And then, the customer has the option of how they want the receipt, either by printed, email, text, or no receipt. And, as I mentioned earlier, since the Flex has a built-in printer, I could just print it right there. I don't have to put in a print request, go inside, grab the paper, bring it back out, and so forth. This will save me a trip. But I'm just going to hit no receipt for now. And then this will kick back to the cashier. I can see that, yeah, the payment went through. This is all set. If I need to reprint a receipt or something like that, I can do it from here. But otherwise, I'll just go ahead and hit done. And we'll see that that's paid on here. Okay. Now, if I go back to the station, I'm going to pull that back up on the screen here. All these devices communicate with each other in real time. So if I'm back in the station and I want to check on that order, I'll go ahead and open this up, and I can see that, yeah, it's been paid right here. So it synced up immediately, so I can see that here. Okay. All right. So another scenario I want to kind of ring through here. If we go into register, this is more along the lines of maybe if a customer or another business has an account on file with me, and I don't necessarily want to charge them today. I just want to ring in the items for them, put it on file, and then bill them later for it. So I could create another order type if I wanted to for that. I could put that over here, but I'm just going to say curbside again. And I can add a customer to this again if I need to. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an individual customer. It could be the name of a business, right? But in any case, I'm just going to ring up a few items. Let me go back into energy drinks. Maybe they're buying some stuff for their staff here. They're buying some Red Bull. And I have this, and I'm going to go ahead and hit pay. And then over here with my tender types, I created some that says house account, vendor 1 and vendor 2 and so forth. You can create multiple tender types with your own descriptors as well. What this is going to do is just kind of zero out that sale, but say it was under a house account here. So we'll look at that more when we go to the reporting, but it'll be an easy way to find what balances due for this sale. But I'm just going to say it's this house account vendor 1. You can see here, it clears that out for me, and I can also send out a receipt to them just so they have something on their record to show, what their employees purchased or what they purchased, that kind of thing. But in any case, I'll hit done, and this will take me back to the register screen. right? And let's see here. A few other things to mention here since we're in register is that starting of the day, I need to put some cash in the till here. I can go ahead and hit these little dots, and I can hit open cash drawer. And it's going to ask me for a reason I need to open the cash drawer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit just add cash. And I'm going to type in the amount that I'm going to add. So I'll say 200 for the day, and then a reason for adding it. So I'll say start of day. That way I can reference that later on. And when I hit continue, this is going to then pop open that drawer. I can go ahead and deposit the cash, and I'm all set. Okay. And the same goes for just removing cash from the drawer. Same process. You just hit remove cash. Something else I like to mention too is that there's a test mode. So for example, let's say you just get Clover and you want to run a few test sales. You can turn on test mode, and that will allow you to run those sales and test sales and so forth, but not skew your numbers. The same goes for, let's say you have a new employee and you want to train them on the system. You can simply turn on test mode and allow them to run, test sales. And again, not mess up any of the numbers and inventory. Right. Turn this off here. And I'm going to check the questions here. Let's see. Matt asked, does the station keep track of how much cash should be in the drawer at any given time? So Matt, yes, it does. So if we go back to the main screen here, I can actually go to my cash log. That's one way to look at it. It'll show me my deposits there. But I can also go into reporting, and I can go into sales overview. And if I scroll toward the bottom here, it'll tell me how much should be in each drawer. So I have a few different cash drawers attached to this, but here's the one we're working on. So it's Clover 1, and I see the cash we have added, and right now it just shows I have $400 in there. But good question. All right. So I'm going to jump out of there, and we'll kind of go into the employee side of things. So here on the device, you can add employees, remove employees, adjust permissions. You can do it from the device, but you can also do it online as well. But I'll just kind of jump in here to show you what this looks like. So here are all my employees that I have in my device. If I need to add a new employee, I'll just hit this plus symbol. And you can see the fields here. So I'll just put in their name, give them a passcode. I can add their fingerprint to the system here so they can log in, just their fingerprint. I can assign them a role, whatever that may be. And you can create multiple roles, by the way, but that's where those permissions will be housed. It's really in the role that you create. So once I add that employee here, they'll then be able to log into all of my other, Clover devices. It'll just kind of sync immediately. And to give you an idea with the roles and so forth, if I go into my permission settings, you'll see here toward the top, I have my different roles. So employee role, you'll see that refund is not checked, for example. So when that employee logs in, they won't be able to do a refund. However, there's some subcategories of some of these other features on Clover, like reporting. Maybe I do want the employee to be able to go in and look at their own reporting, but I don't want them to look at the rest of my reporting. So I can say, yeah, I'll give them access to reporting. They can only just see theirs. Maybe they can't see my deposit and so forth. So there's all these little subcategories. Okay, so we'll explore more of this when we go to the online portion, but just wanted to show you that now. Okay. And let's just kind of jump into the inventory side of things. So again, this is one of these items to where, just like employees, we can adjust it on the device, or we can do so online as well. But if I'm on the device, I can go in here to my items. I can, see all my items here. If I want to adjust prices for it, let's say this Arizona fruit punch, I can just click on this and I can change the price if I need to right here. And as soon as I change the price on here, it's going to sync to all of my devices as well. But adding inventory, you can see in here some of the fields you can put in, of course, the item name. This is a fixed price for this, but I can also set things to more of a variable price. So whenever I scan whatever item it is here, or I, want to ring that up, it'll just prompt me for a price each time. Or you can do kind of a per unit. So let's say it was something to where I need to sell it by weight. I can do a per unit pricing on there. So every time I go ahead and ring it up, it's going to ask me for the weight. Of course, my price, and I can put in my item cost for that, how many I have on hand. Product code, that's going to be that UPC, and of course SKU that ties along with that if you need it. Down here, I can say that I want this in the category of drinks. Again, look at categories as more of departments, but I can also make this available in other departments. Let's say it's under drinks, but I want to put it into miscellaneous as well. I can select that. So this item will now appear in 2 different categories if I need it to. Okay. And the other item here is going to be labels. So traditionally, with labels, we at Clover use those as kind of for our order printers or kitchen printers, if you want to think of it that way. So you can see I have 2 different types of printers on here. So this is a way to assign that item to a certain printer. So when it's ordered, it goes to that assigned printer. That's traditionally kind of how we use that. However, on this end of things, we can use labels as a revenue class on here. So for example, if I want to use labels and maybe I want to put in the name of the vendor, maybe it's PepsiCo or whatever, I can put in PepsiCo here, and whatever Pepsi products that I have, I can attach the label PepsiCo to that particular item. So that way when I pull reporting later and I just want to sort by the revenue type or the revenue class or maybe that vendor, I can do so because I kind of tag that item with that certain label. So that's another way you can kind of use that, right? And of course, your taxes and fees and so forth, you can apply multiple tax rates and flat fees to a particular item. So maybe if you're selling, let's say, alcohol, something like that, or maybe there's a city tax, state tax, and some other fees that you need to tie in. Maybe it's the size of that bottle, that kind of thing. You can put in all those mixtures of taxes and fees to apply to that certain item, right? So I'm going to cancel here. Now, since we're in here, I'm going to add some items with variants here. So I can go ahead and hit add items. And in this one, I'll just say that we're going to create a whole department or category for t-shirts. So I'll say t-shirts, type that in. So I have this, and I want to add some attributes to it. So I'm going to hit this plus symbol. And the first one I'll put in is color. So I have t-shirts, but maybe I have them in a few different colors. So my colors that I sell it in is red and blue. And I can keep on going down the line here. But you know what? I also have some different sizes for these t-shirts. So I'm going to click this button to add some more. Hit save here. And the next one's going to be size. And I'll say that I just offer this in large and small. Okay, and again, I can keep on going down the line here to add more. Also, if I want to add even more attributes to this, let's say the brand of this t-shirt, maybe I can do that here just by clicking this button and just keep on going. But if I hit save, you'll see that it'll compile all of this. So I got t-shirts in all my different colors and sizes right here. It's all listed out. And from here, I can go ahead and put in my price, my cost, how many I have on hand. If there's a UPC code or barcode, whatever, I can put that number right here in product code and so forth. Okay, I cancel on this one. Delete this here. Okay. More of the inventory side of things when we go again to the online portion of this. Okay. And let's see here. So let's jump into more of the customer engagement side of things. Before I actually jump into that, I want to just show this customers app really quick. So within customers here, I can go ahead and search for my customers right up here by the name or phone number. I can kind of scroll through here and find them. Something I want to show on here is if I go to my customer Joe, click on this, is that I can see his information, but I can also see the last time he was here and what he purchased. So it's a great way to get to know these customers, see the last time they were there and so forth. So that's just something to mention there. And then as far as the customer engagement side of things, there's three pieces to this. So the first being the reward side. So this is almost like a digital punch card in a way, to where you can reward customers for either the dollar amounts that they spend or visits and so forth. So in here, I currently have $5 off any purchase when you earn 50 points. Each point over here is a dollar. So each dollar spent, will give you a point. So it's really $5 off when you spend $50, for example. So every time they come in, they can earn those points. Now, there's a few ways that the customers can interact with this. So the first way is kind of how we walk through it on the actual station during that test sale, where I manually added the customer. You can do it that way. If you have the Clover Mini that's in more of a customer-facing mode, the customer can actually just go up to it and simply type in their phone number, and that way they'll be added to the order. So that's pretty straightforward there. But the other way is if the customer downloads the Clover Rewards app, and once they download that app on their phone, when they get near my business, if they've enabled push notifications, they will get a notification on their phone telling them to check in. So they can earn their points and so forth. Or if they just open up the app and they can just manually check in that way too. But when it comes to the payment side, so let's say we rung up some items, we go to the payment screen, the cashier can just hit select customer, and you'll see the customer's info and their name right here. And you just click on their profile. And once you do that, it'll add them to the order. Right. Now, if the customer saved their credit card on the Clover app, then they can just pay directly through the app. There's no need for them to take out their credit card. So it just all takes place through the app. Okay. So that's one piece to it. And then the other side is going to be with promos. So promos is a great way to announce promotions, of course. So on here, I can say maybe I'm going to offer a percentage or dollar amount off or a free item to all my customers or a select amount of customers. I can kind of set that up in here. And I can also just send that directly to them, right? But I can also post it to social media as well. We'll get into more of that when we go to the dashboard here with Clover. I can kind of show you how that works. But some of my favorite items here are the automatic offers. And I really like this win back lost customers feature. So what I could basically do is I can go in here and I can say, or I can tell the system that if a customer doesn't come back within X amount of days, in this case it's 30 days, I would like Clover to automatically reach out to them and offer them maybe a discount on a particular item or a group of items, whatever it may be. So you can kind of automate that process and again, kind of stay engaged with your customers, try to get back in. And then if you're just getting started, you can just kind of post out an offer. So any new customers that come in, and if they join your rewards program, this one they can get an automatic offer just for joining. And so it's pretty neat on this one. So more on this. There is an announcements feature, which again, I'll show you when we go to the dashboard here. Okay. And the other one is going to be feedback. So really on the device here, this is just enabling feedback. This text that's over here, how are we doing? Text this to this number. So it's just enabling this on the customer's receipt, either the printed receipt or the digital too. So they'll have both. But all the feedback will be gathered, just kind of compiled on the dashboard. So we'll walk through that too when we get to the dashboard. Okay. So another side to this too is our gift cards program. So here on the device, you can actually sell gift cards, whether it be a plastic gift card or a digital gift card. Now, the plastic gift cards, you can have those a custom design or kind of a standard design. We have a few different options there, but you would order those through the Clover dashboard. So the merchant's in full control of that. You can from start to finish as far as what you want them to look like and how many you need to order and when you want them to ship and so forth. So we'll kind of explore that again when we get to the dashboard. But let's say you already ordered those. You want to sell a plastic gift card. You simply just hit plastic gift card, type in the amount, or select one of these that you want to place on the card and go from there. Or you can do the digital gift card right here. And let's say I can have this gift card. I can send it in a text to the recipient, or I can email it to them. I'll just say email here. So I'll put it in mine. Whoops. There we go. So I have the email in there, and I'm going to put in the amount that I want to apply to it. So we'll say $10, and I can go ahead and hit next. And from here, it's going to create that gift card for me, and I can take the payment for it. So the recipient, again, would get a text or an email with that digital gift card. All right, and this may not do it because it's my demo account here. So we'll discard that for a moment because it's, again, my demo account. But in any case, so you could sell those gift cards. I do like the fact that you could issue a store credit on a gift card. So maybe a customer had a bad experience, or maybe they want to return something, but you want to keep, the revenue in-house. So you could very much just issue a store credit onto either a plastic gift card or a digital gift card, either one. And of course, you can see here, you can check the balance, add money, or, cash it out. Right. Now, we do have the option to where customers can actually purchase digital gift cards online, and we'll go through that too when we get to the dashboard. Okay. Close out of that. Okay. The other thing I want to mention too, just as it relates to employee clock in, clock out, is Homebase. So with Homebase, this is what employees, again, will use the clock in, clock out for their shifts. This is kind of unique in that it actually utilizes the camera that's in the Clover device. So when the employee goes to clock in for the day, it can actually snap a photo of them clocking in. So it's them and not one of their coworkers clocking in for them. And then I believe Homebase also enabled a questionnaire to pop up related to more of COVID, just to ask employees, have you had a fever? See right here. Do you have a fever of 104 or higher? So as an employee, I would actually have to complete this before I could begin my shift. So I guess it varies state to state and so forth. But if in your state you do need to have this enabled, screen employees before they clock in for the day, this is a great way to do that. So they just go through this, and once they complete the questions, then they'll be clocked in for the day. They can also check their schedule on here as well. Here, and there's an app for employees, so employees can download the Homebase app and also see their schedule on that application as well. So the other side to Homebase is it's on the Clover dashboard, and that piece we can kind of walk through, pulling reports of hours worked and also creating a schedule as well. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and jump into the dashboard here. So I'm going to exit out my Clover station, and we're going to go to clover.com. Let me pull this up. All right. So all I did was just go to clover.com and I logged in, and this would take me directly to the dashboard here. And by the way, too, I can have other folks with their own login to clover.com. For example, maybe I want my accountant to have their very own login to this website so they can go and just pull reports. That way I don't have to take time out of my day to, send them a report. They can just log in and pull it whenever they need. Or other managers, I can give them access to this website as well. Okay. So a few things about this. If I go to my reporting side here, the first report is a sales overview. Some filters here. I can kind of sort through a lot of this information. But I like this in the fact that, it shows me a lot of different trends. So this is showing me sales by hour, by tender types. I can see my top 5 categories and items that I'm selling. So kind of gather all this information here. So I can see what's moving and what's not moving. Okay. And you'll notice here where it says top 5 revenue classes. So if you remember earlier when we spoke about labels, let's say, for example, again, I had PepsiCo, right? If I had them tied to certain items and I'm selling a lot of Pepsi products, that'll appear right here. It'll kind of sort that for me. The other thing is just sales report. So this will kind of give me more of an overview of kind of what I've sold. Again, you have some filters at the top here. And by the way, a lot of these reports, you can export them out to an Excel sheet or CSV, that kind of thing. But also too, if you remember earlier, when we rang through that sale and we put it kind of like an account on file or house account, here's where you'll see that information. So it looks like this vendor 001, owes me $31.94. Which we're actually going to bill that here in just a moment through the virtual terminal. But here's where you kind of find that information. Okay. And again, you can find it here in tender and card types as well. It's all listed. Item sales is going to give me a further breakdown of what I sold, and also calculate my gross profit margin by simply just taking the amount that I'm selling it for versus my cost on that one. Okay. And then with the employees side, I can go in here and at a glance, I can see what my employees have done in sales for the day. If I have enabled tips, maybe it's more of a service type of industry, I can see right here at a glance what's due in tips and so forth. If I need to investigate a transaction an employee did, I can simply just go ahead and click on details and it'll go ahead and take me in there and I can see the receipt for that sale too. All right. Good old taxes, tax report right here, all that's listed. And then deposits. So deposits will be, the credit card batch that you actually have in the system. So if you batch that out on the device, you'll be able to see it here, as far as what's been batched out and what's getting transferred over to the bank, and so forth. So all be compiled here, right? All right, let's move forward into the virtual terminal. And you know what? Shame on me, I forgot what that number was. What is it? 3194. That's owed. Okay. So if I go to virtual terminal, this will allow me to just bill a customer, or charge them, I should say. So this is pretty straightforward here, but again, this will just allow me to charge someone's card. It won't necessarily allow me to tie this charge to a particular item that's in my inventory. It's just, again, charging the card. That's it. But I have my fields here, the amount. I can put an order note. There's an option to have an invoice number field here, so I can type in an invoice number if I need to. Payment information. You'll see here where it says save card on file. So once I do key in someone's card information, I could save it on file. And of course, just the customer info here, right? But again, we have Joe here. Let's say bill him. So Joe. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the amount that he owes. I'm just going to round. Actually, I'll round down. We'll just say $31 and keep it nice and even that he owes. And again, from that house account, right? And in my order note, I could put in something like maybe end of month billing. And maybe this is from June 2020. Okay, so I can keep that note here. I have his card on file and I have his billing information, and I can just go ahead and charge right from here. Charge, and that went through. That's approved, and I can go ahead and email him a receipt right here. Or if I made an error, I can void out this transaction. But otherwise, I'll just hit new transaction. It'll take me through right here. Okay. Let's see. All right. So that's with virtual terminal. Let's explore more of, let's see, the customer engagement side of things. So let's see, right here, let's go into feedback. It's going to show you here where all that information is compiled. So again, if customers leave feedback, it'll all be stored right here on the dashboard. You can see there's two feedback responses here. I can reply back to that customer right here. So it makes it very easy to actually communicate back with them right here. So that one's pretty straightforward. Rewards. This is where I can create new rewards. So I can go in here and create a new reward program. I can share it to social media. I can also see engagement too, as far as who's using it and so forth. It's all listed right in here. Okay. And then with promos, kind of the same concept here. I can share it to social media. I can create some new promos. Here's where I can set up those automatic offers right in here, or I can just do announcements. I can create an announcement. So to where I'm not necessarily offering something or a discount on something, I'm just simply sending out a message. And I can choose who I want to send that message to. Maybe it's everyone, or maybe a certain group of customers. I can kind of filter that a few different ways. Right, and looks like we have another question here from Matt. How do you go close out the house account balance due to after the virtual terminal transaction? So that's in a way kind of like a manual process, because it's going to show here. We're just simply saying that on a house account, this is how much these folks owe us. Virtual terminal is just going to kind of charge them for whatever's due. As far as reconciliation on the back end, that's going to be kind of more of a manual process. So that's why if we go into virtual terminal, if we enable this field here for, like, let's say invoice number or order note, that way when we do run this transaction later on, you can match up that charge from the virtual terminal to that house account charge, for example. Another way too to do this is we don't necessarily have to close out that sale on the register. We could just save it and keep it there until they're ready to pay as well. So that's another way to do it. Good question. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and jump into inventory. So this is, the back end to it. So if I want to adjust any of my items, any of my prices and so forth, I could do it right here from the dashboard. Now there is a Clover inventory app just for merchants. So you could very much access your inventory and quantity of items through that application as well. But if I go in here, again, if I just want to edit a price or something, I could change it really quick here. And when I change it here, it's going to update to my devices immediately, even though I'm not, necessarily on site. Maybe I could just do it from here. My stock quantities, I can kind of go through here and adjust my quantities and so forth right here. Okay. Now, in a retail environment, let's say maybe you're just getting started with Clover and you have to load hundreds, thousands of items into your Clover device. We actually have these templates here at the top. So I have one that I pulled that's just for demo purposes. But if you hit download template right here, you're going to get an Excel template with more detailed instructions step by step on how to load in the inventory. But I'm going to pull up my demo one. Let's see here. Okay. And I won't go through all of this, but it is pretty straightforward, even though it kind of looks intimidating. It's not too bad. But what I can do is, again, let's say it's a situation to where a merchant is just purchasing Clover and they need to load in all their inventory items. Well, if you have your inventory items in a digital format already, let's say, for example, you already have your inventory loaded into an Excel spreadsheet, you can open that Excel spreadsheet and simply copy and then paste into these columns. So copy, paste into name, copy, paste price, and you just keep on going down the line, putting your costs there. Same thing with the product code. So this could be your UPC codes, and of course, any kind of SKU that goes along with that. And then you can also load in, the quantity, how many you have on hand. There's a few other fields here, but this is kind of the basics of it, to where you can just copy and paste in there. Now, if we have a situation where a business owner does not have on hand maybe a digital listing of all their devices, I've heard a few cases to where merchants will just reach out to their vendors, and their vendors will provide them a digital listing of the items that they provide to them too. So that's another way you can do it. But once I've updated this list here, I'll just save the Excel template to my desktop. I won't save this one because it's just demo. So let's say I save that Excel template to my computer here, and then I just go ahead and hit import inventory. I choose that file, so I go ahead and find the Excel file, and then I just hit import. So if I have 1,000 some odd items, all those items will now be added to my Clover devices within just a few moments, and my devices are ready to go. Okay. Now, another thing that you can do too is, let's say I need to update my stock quantities. I can go ahead and hit export inventory. So this is going to give me a listing of everything that I have in my device. Pull this up. There we go. Let me just clear this out here. Clear this. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Let me try to enlarge this a little more here. So let's say, again, I just want to update my quantities. I don't necessarily want to do it through the website. Maybe I have a lot of them to update. I can go here and I can sort by the name of the items and so forth. But if I just want to update quantities, maybe I want to put in 200. I'm going to do 200 for all of them right here in this whole sheet. So it's going to update all those, for example. And I'm just going to save this to my desktop. Desktop, save. Okay. And I'm going to close this out. I'm going to come back to clover.com and I'll hit import again. And I'll grab that file that I was just working on right here and hit import. Now what this will do is it's not going to duplicate my items if I upload this again. It's just going to look for any kind of changes that took place. So in this case, the change was how many I actually have in stock, the items. So once I hit save, it's going to update my stock quantities for me. And if I go back here to stock, I'll see all of these have been updated. So now they're all at 200, for example. So that's another quick way to just kind of update your stock and so forth. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into where to go here. Oh, employees. I want to show this too. So again, we did this on the device. It's very similar here on the dashboard too, but if you need to adjust employee permissions or add new employees, you could do it here from the dashboard. Or on the opposite end of it, let's say an employee leaves, you're not there on site and you need to remove them from the system, you can simply go in here and hit delete. By hitting delete, it'll lock them out of your devices. It'll still save their history of transactions that they did and so forth. So that'll still be in here, but it's all kind of the same here. Right, with gift cards. So this is the back end to gift cards. So here's where you can kind of order your plastic cards. So if I go in here, I have the standard option to where I can go in there and I can use different color schemes and fonts and so forth that Clover has in place and kind of create a unique design there with, one of these templates. And then also you have the option to upload your own design, more of a custom, or you can just hire somebody here and they can just make them for you, right? The other report on here, though, that I like to see is my liability report. So it's a fantastic thing that I sold these gift cards, but now I need to know what I'm on the hook for, right? So I can go in here, generate that liability report, give me that all that information as far as what's out there. Okay. All right. And the other side to Homebase, I want to mention this too. I'm going to go to time clock. And this is where I can pull that report of, hours worked from employees. So if I go in here and I hit reports, I can go ahead and pull it from here. So I'll select my time frame here at the top and just pull that report from there. What I do like about this, though, is this chart toward the bottom here. It shows me my actual sales versus the hours that my folks worked. So this will help me out as far as going forward and when I need to schedule people, right? The other really cool thing about this is when I go to scheduling, here are all my employees to the left-hand side here. I can just go ahead and click on the dates that I need them to work, their schedule and so forth. But if you notice here at the bottom, this is really neat. It shows me my estimated sales for that day and then also my labor costs on there too. And even the weather forecast for that day, which is really, really neat. Anyway, when I'm ready for this, I just hit publish and, I can text this to my employees, email it to them. If they have the Homebase app on their phone, they can get a push notification with that schedule and so forth. So some really great things here. Okay. All right, let's jump ahead to the other side of gift cards here. I did want to mention this. So sell digital gift cards online. So we just enabled this so merchants can allow customers to purchase a digital gift card online. And for the merchant, we actually give you your own custom URL right here and a QR code that would, redirect customers to this website. So you could very much, just download this QR code, print it out, leave it in your business, or you can post this out to social media too, so customers can purchase gift cards. But if I open this up, you can see here it's very just straightforward layout, very clean, not too complex. I have my business information here, my logo, and then the customer can then just type in the amount that they want on the card, have it to where they can buy it for themselves if they need to, or put in the recipient's information here. And then you just hit add to order and you go through the checkout process. So the recipient, they'll get an email with that gift card and they could, kind of bring it in and use it as needed. It's a really neat feature here. Right. And let's see, that is about it for the dashboard. I'm going to jump out of here and just mention a few things before we end for the day. Pull this back up. All right, great. So I just want to mention some of our third-party apps that are kind of partnered up with us and offer a lot of great solutions here. So one, Homebase, which we just kind of went through there. They do have some more advanced options in there, more paid versions that focus around more HR functions like hiring and firing. A lot of great tools in there that you want to check out. So all their pricing is listed online if you want further information. On the other side to that is Gusto. So Gusto offers payroll solutions, but Gusto and Homebase, they kind of communicate back and forth with one another. So Gusto can pull that employee time clock information from Homebase, and therefore just kind of make the payroll side of things much easier because they'll just kind of sync that information. AP Intego is your insurance solution for your business, for your employees, for yourself, and Nav, which is more credit monitoring for your business and just really the overall health of your business as well. So they have some great options there. And a few other things. So with our team at the pre-sales team, we actually create an email address that you can use now. So it's just for sales folks, and it's just for pre-sales questions, right? So not after the fact, just pre-sales. So and that email address, of course, is presales@clover.com. So if again you have any pre-sales questions, just email it here, and we'll be more than happy to answer that for you. And of course, just Clover support. This is their information in case you have any support related questions. And then as it relates to webinars, our team is actually offering a handful of webinars throughout the weeks here. Everything from full service restaurants to quick service, the retail one, of course, that you're on today, and a bunch of other ones. So be on the lookout for invites from those. Attend as many times as you like, and invite potential merchants to join those as well. We'd love to have them on there. Now, for the sales folks, if you do have a business owner that would like further information about Clover or to see if it's a good fit for them and you want a one-on-one demo, feel free to schedule that with our team. We'd love to hop on the call and, again, just kind of walk them through Clover and make sure it's a good fit for them. All right. But that is all that I have for today. What I'll do is I'll kind of end the webinar from here, but I'll hang back just for a few more moments in case there are any more questions. I'll answer those in the Q&A section of the GoToWebinar control panel. All right, but that's all I got for today. Hope everyone has a great day. Appreciate being on the call here.